Well, it is still raining heavily, and it was raining heavily over the weekend. And as you can see, it's probably raining in the night as well. And it's probably gonna still rain a little bit today and tomorrow, until probably like around Tuesday, Wednesday. I think it's supposed to change. It's gonna be sunny and warm and not rainy. I'm hoping this meadow here will be mowed soon. It's mowed twice a year, but I think maybe it's gonna take about a month more until they mow it. Although there are meadows, and I've seen them recently, that are already mowed. So I guess it depends on whoever owns it, how long they will keep it. But I hope it's gonna be soon, because then we could, be going through that. But as of now, not just because of the fact that it's completely wet and we would just be soaked, but also because there could be little fawns hiding in that meadow, and I'm not risking going through that because, as you know, on Friday I made a video where initially I thought I was hearing a strange bird, but unfortunately that was an alarm call of a fawn, and Drake was, I guess, chasing it, or he found it. I don't know what happened, because I ran there as quickly as I could. You've seen it on the video before the camera got knocked over, and that's where I made the cut. But I got to the spot a little later on, and there was a fawn on the ground, visibly injured. Drake wasn't there though, which was interesting. I didn't quite understand the situation at first, because the fawn was there, injured. Drake was completely elsewhere, searching for it. And I've heard the parents, I've heard the roe deer buck and roe deer doe close by, and I've seen them running away. Actually, they were probably spooked by me. Fuck, what was that? No, God, what was that? Drake! Draco! What should I do now? I mean, there's nowhere to go. What? What was that, by the way? I thought, was that a cat or was that a bird? Because he didn't run after it. Probably he didn't see it. Damn. Whew. Man, it got me scared there, because I think there was a rabbit or something. Or not, or cat. But he ran after it for sure. I think he didn't see it, man. That was a close call. Okay, let's take it by the road, just to be sure, because I don't know where its track is gonna start, but I don't want Drake to catch a whiff of it. If the animal, it's too late by now anyway. It's like it's gone, but I don't want it to go into the forest and chase it. This is unfortunately, this is the first video where you can witness our new sort of emergency mode, because I decided things has to change after the Friday experience. I realized this cannot go on, because this is something just waiting to happen again, and I'm not letting that happen again, because it was very I was devastated, really. I was devastated because, as I said, I caught up to them, and the fawn was injured. It had its hind leg was bitten through, essentially, and there was a deep open wound. And it was trying to get up, but it couldn't. There's a car. Well, that's great. Hold on. Let's get to... Riku! Pojď tady jdeme. Tady nahoru, jo? No, hodnej, jo? Hodnej. Good boy. No. Tak, počkáme, jo? Až přijde to auto. Tak. No. Tak, dobrý. Alright. Well, that was that. Good boy. See, he listens to me. He listens to me. When I say, please stop, he stops. When I say, Drake, here we go, there we go, he goes. He listens, okay? He listens, which is a freaking miracle given he was born on a street where he lived for a year, and then he lived 2 years in a shelter where there was no way he would learn anything, really, with hundreds of other dogs. So it's a miracle he listens like that, you know? But he's got Basenji in him 100%, and Basenjis apparently have insanely strong prey drive. I already talked about that. And from what I've read on Wikipedia, they're like second most difficult breed to train. You know? So put these two together, when there is a rabbit or there's something that he has a chance of catching, so that means a small rabbit or something like fawn, he loses his mind, and there is no way I can stop him other than him having it on a leash, obviously. But yeah, he caught up to the fawn, he injured it, and I had to call a rescue station because first I was not sure if it cannot stand up because it's in shock. So I was like unsure what to do, because if you touch a fawn, that's one of the things that you should know if you don't know it already, that if you find a fawn lying on the ground, like sort of sitting, but being calm, you know, like not screaming for its parents or not being visibly injured, leave it alone, leave it there where it is, unless it's in danger. I mean, if it's in the middle of the road, that's not great, right? But then they're like, think of a workaround. Don't touch it, you know, because the problem with this is that once it gets your smell on its fur and all over its body, his or her or its parents will abandon it. Essentially, that's the bottom line of it, you know. So I think if you would find it in the middle of the road and it would be in danger, I would probably either use gloves, or I don't know how to do that, or maybe I don't know how, like, or maybe use like a piece of cloth and maybe carry it somehow without you touching it, or like grazing it with your body, or smearing your scent over it. If you can do that while it's in danger, then I guess that's a good way to go. But don't take it away, don't touch it, don't interact with it, just leave it there alone. If you do touch it and if you do interact with it, then you have to take it, you know, because that's it. The parents are no longer going to take care of it, and you have to get it to a rescue station, and they will not be happy, let me tell you that. They will not be happy. Because I experienced it once when I was a kid, and they were freaking mad and they were yelling at us, and it was just, it's not a great experience. It feels like you're helping a fawn, you know, but you're just, at the end of the day, you're a monster, you know, because you just freaking took away a baby roe deer from its parents. And you're a freaking monster, because now you bring it into the rescue station, they have to take care of it, and you're an absolute moron that you didn't know that this is the thing, you know? And that's how we were treated back then. I still remember it. It was pretty traumatic for me, because I thought, nobody taught me that, you know? So I felt like, oh my God, a baby deer. We got to do something about that. My father wasn't saying anything. I mean, he didn't know either. And then we brought it to the rescue station, and we got hell, really. So it's definitely something I will remember always. And of course, I never did it again, obviously. I mean, that was a lesson learned. But if you can avoid that, please do. It's not a pleasant situation at all, because you at first feel like you're helping, and then you feel like an absolute fucking not only a moron, but also a monster, because you just took a baby deer out of a warm embrace of its parents, you know. So it feels like you're just fucking started a World War III or something, you know. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to say. If the fawn is not injured, it's there somewhere safely in the grass, tall grass, leave it there. Prevent your dogs from sniffing it. Just don't interact with it, okay? I think if a dog sniffs it, it's fine. It's not like the, I think, by the way, I'm not sure, okay? So don't let your dogs near, even if they're harmless, even if they would just sniff it. Ideally, don't do that. So like no scents are left on the fawn. It needs to be squeaky clean so that the parents don't get suspicious and they don't abandon it, okay? It's a weird strategy if you ask me, but hey, you know, that's just nature. That's how evolution worked it out. It has to have some meaning, you know? Dejku, tady jdeme. So I had to call a rescue station. This was a case where you have to, because the fawn was injured. I thought it might be in shock and it couldn't get up, but then I saw the wound, and yeah, that was obviously not the case. So I called the rescue station and they came for it, and they said they're not sure if it's gonna make it. I contacted them. I haven't got a message back yet. I'm gonna update you on its condition, if it made it. I hope it did. I really hope it did, because yeah, it was really bad. And it's my fault, obviously, because Drake is just, you know, following his instinct. That's on me. I am his caretaker, as I mentioned in the subtitles, and I am fully responsible for anything he does. It's not on him. He's an animal doing his thing, you know. That's just how it works. And as I mentioned, it is Dejku, tady jdeme. Shoop. See, now when he's doing this, like he's searching for something, I gotta interrupt him. That's one of the things I have to constantly do, because then he just happens upon something and damage is done, you know? So this here now is our new mode. By the way, that is the another mysterious sign from the same sort of saga of signs that happens on this particular track. And I don't know what this one means either. I mean, again, I really tried. I tried to identify it through some Reddit forums, and I was unsuccessful. So if you know what it means, and that one over there, hey, like, let me know, because I would love to solve the mystery. But this is our new mode. We have to go. We have to go through roads. We will not go through meadows unless they are mowed, and we're not going through forests, unfortunately, because I love it. But hey, what can we do until spring passes? So for a month at least from now on, probably 2 months. It sucks, but I don't know what else to do. I'm not gonna drag Drake on a leash while he's like strangles himself the whole fucking walk, you know. I'm not gonna do that, because I wouldn't enjoy it, he wouldn't enjoy it, and there would be no freaking point of doing that, you know. So I'm not doing that. The only thing that I like that my girlfriend brought up is a muzzle protection, you know, muzzle basket. And I thought, like, yeah, that might be an option, because then he gets his movement without sort of restriction, and he cannot hurt anything. But you know, he kind of means he's kind of okay with the muzzle basket, but as every other dog, he doesn't like it, obviously. So he would actively try to get it off of him. But it would be an option for sure. Now, where is he? You know, and now I'm jumpy, man, because after what happened, Dejku. I'm jumpy because I, you know, like, experience like that certainly. What is he doing? Co děláš, Dejku? What is he doing? Oh, he's just sniffing a tree. Okay. Jesus Christ. See, I'm jumpy, you know, now, because I'm like, it was a pretty traumatic event for me, you know, because I yeah, well, Yeah. Poor fawn, man. It was like freaking few months old, and the parents lost it. Well, you know, I cannot imagine, man. Like, I mean, yes, like it happens in nature, but like it didn't have to happen, for one, and for two, I definitely don't have this mindset. It's like if a cat catches a bird, it's like, oh, that's nature. No, it's not, because cats are not native predators, and they are not even eating the prey they kill, you know. So it's not nature. No, cats, we brought cats. Cats are completely unchained and completely overpopulated, and it's not nature. I mean, it is. Like, okay, that's sort of a conservationist now talking out of me, but like really, when you think about it from the big picture, it is nature. We are nature. Our computers are nature, you know, because it's made out of the material that the universe is made out of. So it is all nature, right? And I know that. But if you look in the microscopic sort of view, then it's not nature, you know, and you can prevent, you know, unnecessary deaths. You can, if you don't let your cat out or do something to prevent it from catching so many little birds when it's a spring season. You know, it's really, really bad. They kill so many animals, especially in spring, so many young chicks of birds. It just happens, and it's not their fault, by the way. That's important to mention. It's not their fault. Again, we are responsible, you know, not them. They're just doing what they were made for, which is hunting, obviously. You know, they're perfect. They're genius hunters, and that's that. They're just doing what they know. But I have the same thing with I have the same view with dogs. It's not nature, man. Dogs are domesticated predators. They used to be wolves, now they're dogs. And I mean, they were part of our sort of, I mean, dogs are, you know, like they were around for centuries, you know, for millennia, even with us, you know, like in their domesticated form. So, you know, yeah, but still, you know, it's like, it's not a natural sort of dynamic. It's not like a fox kills a fawn, you know. That's a nature. That's like, okay, you know, go on, fox. I mean, that's what this, like, I mean, that's nature, yes, but this is not, because it's your dog. He's fed, he's taken care of. He doesn't need to kill, you know, or she or whatever, you know. Your cat doesn't need to kill because it's fed, it's taken care of, and it's not a wild animal. It's not nature in that context. But of course, in the macroscopic view, it is nature. It's all nature. It's all nature, you know, all of it. Even if things that you wouldn't think are nature, like computers, they are nature, you know. They are. I mean, it sounds wild, but they are. You know, what else would they be? You know, what like how would you, like, are they created like from some magic that defies physics and nature? Like, no, it's made out of silicon and crystal and stuff that, you know, you can find in nature. You know, so it is nature by design. And that's a big debate. This whole thing is a big philosophical debate. But I think AI is nature as well, because we created it, and because it is based on things that were created from nature. When you think about it, like all those computational chips, they are made of silicone, right? They're made from the stuff that you find in nature. So how can it not be nature? But that's okay. That's like I'm diverging here a lot, digressing. Digressing, that's the word. Wow, look at these. Love these. Those are beautiful. I don't know their name. I guess I'm gonna post them in the subtitles. Whenever I say I'm gonna post in the subtitles, I'm like, God, extra work. I have to, you know, add a subtitle track in Premiere, and it's not that I don't enjoy it, but I'm always like, damn, I just made a trap for myself, because I'm gonna have to find out what its name, and I'm gonna have to put it in the subtitles. No, I like doing it. I'm just kidding. So I'm gonna put it in the subtitles, but that's a really, really beautiful plant. It very often grows on the edges of the fields. I think maybe because it's not affected on the edges with the herbicides as much as it is in the field itself. See, there's tons of them there. Beautiful. As well as poppy seeds. You see them growing on edges, but they don't really grow on in the actual field itself. So yeah, that's a big philosophical debate, and you can argue that it's not true. That's my... What is this, man? Deiko! Deiko, tarideme! Oh, man. See, I mean, we're going through asphalt roads, but clearly that is not enough to prevent shit like that. And again, yeah, I mean, you could say, like, she should be on a leash, and I could say, yeah, you're absolutely right, because you are absolutely right. But, fuck me. Let's just go after him. I think it was probably just I don't know, a rabbit or something, because I didn't see anything. And he didn't bark, which is a good sign. Whenever there is barking with his running, that's a really bad sign. Let's just follow him. Anyway, this is our sort of new mode that will be on for, unfortunately, at least a month, or maybe 2. Hold on. I'm gonna have to... Oh, good, he's there. Fuck me. Excuse my language, but oh God. See, before I was not really... Good boy. I was not really concerned about these things, but the problem is that Drake right now is in a state of sort of like, he's like high. Imagine. It's really... Look at him, Jesus Christ. He's like, the injections doesn't make him, blocks him or prevents his receptors from receiving pain signals. So he not only he doesn't feel pain, but I think he doesn't even feel exhaustion either as well, because it has to numb out certain receptors in the muscles and tissues. So he's like high, he can do anything. That's what I think he feels like, and that's what is causing these problems. Because before, as I said, man, 3 years, and it did not happen, not once. And it was because he was always held back by the pain and by the limitations of his own body, you know, that is not only like handicapped by the fact that he has 3 legs, but also because his especially hind joint is very worn out, and it must hurt, you know. So he couldn't really run that fast. I mean, he still ran fast, but he had limits, you know. He had exhaustion and he had pain that held him back. Deiko, tarideme, poď. Now he doesn't have either, you know, and that is making him feel probably like an unstoppable superhero that can just do freaking anything. So when he happens upon something like fawn or a rabbit, he just goes and goes, and there is no stopping. And that's the problem, and that's why a situation like that occurred. So apart from this new mode, the emergency mode, so to speak, I will seriously think about pausing his medication until the spring passes, until all the little baby deer and baby rabbits and all that will get large enough to escape. And when he's gonna have these limitations, unfortunately, when he will feel pain, he will know where are his limits, and he will not pursue chases like that, because it's not gonna be possible, because it's gonna hurt. And it sucks, you know, because it's gonna make him feel uncomfortable, but I'm not risking another fawn or another baby rabbit or something, you know. I'm just not risking that anymore. So I think his last injection was about a month and a half ago or something. So I think gradually and slowly he should start feel exhaustion and pain again. Well, I'm gonna observe it, and once he does, it will be more safer for us to go a little bit through the oh shoot, oh poor frog. God damn, there's a frog ran over here. And over here, I mean, you get that? There's a frog here that got ran over by something, I guess a car. Jesus Christ, it's like a field. It's like, cannot get more rural and more like totally abandoned vibes that it has. And there's a frog that got run over on it. Christ almighty. So do I have a battery? Yeah, I still have a battery. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it, and then once he starts to feel pain again, I mean, I know it sounds weird, and poor Drake, I mean, I know, but I mean, what else am I supposed to do? Again, I'm not dragging him on a leash. Unfortunately, if he could walk on a leash like normally, then I would consider it, but he's one of the dogs that just strangle himself on it, and that would be a hell, really, to have these walks. I wouldn't even want to go out because it would just be a freaking nightmare for both of us, you know. So I think this is the only way to. Oh shit, I forgot there's the track. He might go across. Hopefully he's not gonna smell it. Yeah, so I'm gonna seat. Oh, so that was a bird, and it was flying very low. I thought it was a cat or a rabbit, because that would be so weird if he wouldn't just pursue it, you know. I was very surprised, but of course that was a bird. Okay. Oh, whew. See, man, I'm on edge now. I'm on edge because, yeah, I don't want this to happen again, really. So these are the things that I'll do to prevent it, and then hell, in 2 months or two, maybe, or not maybe, but probably I'm just gonna resume the injections, and we might start to go slowly back into the forest, but not before that, because I really want to be as careful as I can be, because I don't want to have more blood on my hands than I already have right now. And as I said, I'm gonna update you on the fawn. I really hope it made it, because yeah, at least that would be some good news, you know, like some good news that it's gonna survive and live a happy life. But yeah, and something I didn't manage to finish on the last walk, because Drake interrupted me with his bloodthirsty chase, was and he wasn't bloodthirsty, but you know, well, that was the thing that the chick of the blackbird, you know, and it's connected actually, because the same rescue station came for that blackbird a day prior to that, you know, so like day after they went for a roe deer fawn, and the same guy essentially, you know, he was like, oh, you're supplying us, and I'm like, yeah, well, not really keen this time to supply you with fruits of my failures, but yeah. But yeah, I rescued there. It was right over there. There's an asphalt road, the main one, which is quite frequented, especially in the mornings and late afternoons. And I picked it up from the ground, from the asphalt road, and it was visibly injured. And it was injured quite severely, you know. I didn't see any intestines or anything internal, but it was there's a lot of blood, and I think part of its skin got ripped off, you know. But fortunately, I don't think it actually sort of pierced its sort of abdomen, or like it didn't pierce its insides, or like in the inside area of its body. So all his organs, I think, were untouched, fortunately, and it was still alive even after an hour and a half or 2 hours after I picked it up. And then they came, and it was quite lively actually. I was worried it might slowly be sort of fading away, but when I picked it up to bring it to the rescue station person, it was actually very lively and was fighting back sort of, and wanted to fly off my hand. So, you know, that's a good news, and I'm hoping it made it. he wasn't sure if it will, but you know, I think that's something they cannot give you hope, like, oh yeah, sure, it's gonna make it. And so I think there has to be a little pessimistic, because I think they see so many cases that just go wrong, and they don't, like animals that don't make it, that they kind of have this view. It's like they are rather not sure than just give anyone or themselves a false hope, you know. So yeah, I also asked about the blackbird, by the way, so I'm gonna give you an update on that too, how they're both doing. And whew, yeah, that is it's like a third rescue this year. The one with the poison deer, I'm not sure if that was a rescue. It was kind of like a little bit like a rescue, but I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I usually have, and I mean, I don't want to brag, but I usually have like 2 rescues a year, that like an animal that I find somewhere that needs help, and I contact the rescue station and they come over. I actually even drove there myself once because I found a very sick piglet of a wild boar. Unfortunately, that one didn't make it, but they were about to come in 3 hours or something. I was like, man, this piglet is clearly dying. It needs help as soon as possible. So I just get in the car and I drove it there myself. So yeah, and yeah, the guy already knew the address. He was like, oh yeah, I was there a couple times, and I was like, yeah, you were. So yeah, it's kind of a yearly tradition that I rescue at least one, either bird or something that I come across during the walks. Unfortunately, this time with the fawn, that was well, I don't know if I can call it a rescue, really. I mean, that's yeah, I still blame myself for it, obviously, because again, as I said, it's not Jake's fault, you know, it's not, it's mine. Yeah, is the battery still on? Yeah, it's still on. Good. Well, we're almost at the end of the walk, so that's about the updates regarding Friday. This is our sort of new mode. Unfortunately, not as interesting as the one as we were traversing the forests and meadows, but it's gonna change soon, I believe. As soon as they're gonna mow the meadow, we're gonna be going through that, and then forest we'll do as soon as possible. I think you're really, once Drake's medications will wear off, I believe he will be much less agile and therefore much more safe for, you know, for the animals out there, you know. So I think at that point we will be able to resume our walks in the forest, and that's probably going to be also the time when most of the, you know, fawns and most of the small animals will already grow to a size where they can be, well, they can escape more easily, sort of. So anyway, I'm going to be as careful as I can. I really don't want to risk this ever again. And if it means going through roads and paths, well, so be it. You know, I'm not risking another animal's life again. So yeah, that's about that. So I'm going to sign off now, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Yep.